How you doing, YouTube? I wanted to grind and touch up the other hub today, but it's just too cold outside, so I was sitting around, got nothing to do, so I kind of figured I'd make a video about the ratchet drive on an RJ35, which is basically a carryover from their walk-behind tractors of the day. Essentially, you have a couple parts. You have the hub, which this is the hub that I welded all the teeth in the last video. You have the paw system, you have the axle, and then there's supposed to be a spring right here that sticks up. And essentially how this works is the paw system is keyed to the shaft, so when the axle spins, the whole paw system inside the hub spins as one unit. And what you have is this little spring which goes in that hole. This is the early style, or the first version of the RJ35 paw system. It sticks out. There's like a little tiny spring that slides in, fits in fairly tight, sticks up. That rubs on the gear case cover or on the back plate of the opposing wheel, and that spring causes just enough resistance where if it's in the forward position and spinning in this direction, the paw will be kicked out, and then vice versa. When the reverse is kicked in or the forward is kicked in, it slides the paw back and forth. Now when it obviously goes to a certain point and locks the paw into place. Now it's actually locking in reverse because my axle doesn't spin. You know, the whole thing rotates. This thing has created a little bit of a resistance and it locks into place. In the neutral position, the axle, or excuse me, the hub actually spins free on the axle. Therefore, you can move the tractor. Some of the tractors you'll see have RJ35s that shows the belt, the main belt is taken off, because you can't push an RJ35 when the paw is locked, because you can't turn it. You know, it's geared down to the rear wheels, so you're gearing up. So that creates a lot of resistance. Plus the Vari drive with the two belts actually creates a lot of resistance, and it's very hard to push an RJ35. So people will take the drive belt off in order to push the tractor because the hub is locked. So essentially what happens is the little spring creates, it's rubbing, you can't hear it, but just gently rubbing on the nubs of the gear case cover or on the back plate. That creates the movement of the paw, which then locks it into place, so it actually pushes it this way. I know I had to go the reverse, but basically this whole assembly starts to spin, and then vice versa. Let's just lock it in there. If you're going to go in reverse, it spins it the opposing direction. Now, when you're going like you're going to take a turn, basically what happens is one or the other of the hubs are overdriven, so it unlocks. So in other words, when this wheel is overdriven, it'll free spin. Okay, unlocking the hub. That's why sometimes if you ever rode a RJ35, if you go into a steep bend with an RJ35, it traverses the bend real nice, but then as soon as the wheels start to straighten out, the tractor will jerk. It'll jerk forward or jerk right or jerk left. It's pretty, because the front ends are so light. Sometimes it does it left, sometimes it does it right, sometimes it just goes straight. And what that jerkiness is, that's the paw that unlocked, locking again and creating drive. So basically when it's going in a straight line, an RJ35 is pretty much a posi. You know, it's locked both the wheels if it's working correctly. But that is in a nutshell how the RJ35 works. If somebody out there has a better explanation, by all means, I would love to see it, but from my perspective, that's how it works, that's how it's set up. So, but then again, if you have a better explanation, by all means, I would love to see it. Now, just for second purposes here, take the hub off. There's the Woodruff key. one of the things I wanted to show, and let's see if I can zoom out, if my camera will work today, and it is working. Okay, one of the things I wanted to show you was the difference between a couple hubs. I've been saying that this is an early hub, and you can see how when I say it's thin, the webbing is thin, and where the bolts go is a little bit thinner. This hub is a later model hub. Actually, it's a reproduction. This is one of those Bill Jenkins hubs that are ridiculous money. I bought a set at the WheelHorse show, so I got a discount on them. And ultimately, I may use these, but you can see the difference. This is modeled after the later version. You can see how the webbing here is a lot thicker. That's a lot thinner. The bolt areas are thicker. Actually, let's line them up a little better. There you go. So you can see there is a difference. The other difference is, see how that one's machined nice and flat? Some of the later version ones were like that, the earlier versions. So you see there's a difference there too. Teeth-wise, there's the teeth of both. The intersections are the same. These are both non-break bands. You can see the thinner rib, thicker rib. These are really nice. These are real nice pieces. I've had great luck with them. It's just that, you know, they're expensive, and for what I'm doing right now, I want to have as close to original as possible. And so I'm going to keep working on these. We'll see how they all work out. Alright, well, thank you again. If you have a better explanation of a ratchet drive on an RJ35, by all means, I would love to see it. Thank you very much.